Hey everyone, and welcome to Ricky's Rockin Reviews. Today we're going to be looking at The Only One Left by Riley Sager. Now, this is a wild ride, and this is my first read from Riley Sager, and I'm thoroughly impressed. So when you look at the genre for this book, it's listed under murder mystery / horror, and you get exactly that in here. And a bunch of twists and turns that I wasn't really expecting, especially when they all culminate. The placement of the twist in the book it really catches you off guard, and I really enjoy that. So one thing about this book, the cover is great. I mean, look at that. It really establishes the atmosphere and the setting. This is exactly what you get in the book. It's a really huge mansion on a cliffside. So this house over here on the cliffside, it's called Hope's End, and it was owned by an affluent family back in the 20s. And in 1929, just before the Great Depression, there is a string of murders that happen one night that leaves only Lenora. And she's a teenager, her parents die, and her sister die mysteriously. And she's the only one left there. And the story picks up in 1983. And we have Kit, who's a caregiver, and 6 months before this story takes place, something might have happened at her previous job where she might or might not be guilty. And that is a through line that runs throughout the whole novel and also runs parallel with what's going on at Hope's End. So Lenora is the only one left. And by the time that Kit gets there, she finds out that Lenora is unable to care for herself because Lenora is paralyzed. She can only use her left arm and she can't speak. So, she needs assistance throughout her whole day, and she's a full-time job. Lenora takes it because of the circumstances that happened 6 months before, and more will get revealed later, but she ends up kind of befriending Lenora, and she's also kind of scared of Lenora because what happened at this house in 1929 is like an urban legend throughout the town where she lives. And the kids even make up a song about what happened that night and how Lenora killed her family. They accuse her because she was the only one left that night. And it's kind of a I don't even know how to describe it, because the first 100 pages of this novel, by the time Kit gets there and she's getting to know Lenora and her situation, I was like heartbroken. I was really sad. Like Lenora, the way she's characterized, the only way she could be characterized is through her facial expressions, her emotions. Since she can only use her left arm, they've developed a form of communication where one tap is no, two taps is yes. And there's also a typewriter in there in her room. And Kit kind of is really interested in what happened to Lenora, and for reasons you'll find out in the story. And she's able to communicate with her even more through typewriting, and it's a slow build up, a slow growth in their relationship, and where it goes is really unexpected. And from then on, I really can't say that much because it's going to spoil a lot. Now, there's a lot of reveals in the novel, and I feel like they're all handled pretty well. So we have kind of like a framing device in the story. Since Lenora can type, and she's willing to type out some of the stuff that happened to her in the past, and like divulge a lot of information, and also withhold a lot of information from Kit, we see that as the chapters are broken up. So we have numbered chapters, just like a regular story, but then in between, at any given, spacing between the chapters, we have her typed pages that she types at a typewriter, and it flashes back and it gives a lot of context to what happened in the past. In 1929, I think up to 8 months before the murders, up till to the night of the murder. And it's kind of like a whiplash, especially towards the end, but it's really well worth it. So one of the things I appreciate about this book is my feeling at the beginning of the novel, and then how my feelings changed throughout the novel. There's a kind of an ebb and flow of who did what, what's going on, and by the end of the novel, I really liked the resolution. I liked everything that was set up and kind of like almost promised in the beginning. It's all resolved at the end. That's what I really like. It's not an ambiguous ending, so I really appreciate that. And so some of the themes throughout the novel are the themes of guilt, the themes of revenge, and also a little bit of of friendship. Now there's some moments where you're caught up in the mystery, and there's also some moments where it's like, holy crap, everything that's happening right now is pretty scary. Make sure you turn the lights on when you're, all around the house when you're reading. Now I read this book in a few sittings, and let me just say, if you can, make sure you have enough time for the last 100 pages, because I wasn't planning on reading like the last 100 pages all at once, but I couldn't help myself. Because what's going on in the story is pretty nuts, and you just got to get to the end. Up to the. I won't say anymore. Yeah, it was a good time for sure. And one more thing I got to say is that I really appreciated the way the layout of the house was described. It was described with enough detail so that you knew where everyone was in the house, where everyone belonged. There's 3 stories in the house. You knew where everyone stayed and what was on what level. It was always really easy to follow. It's something that could be difficult to try to like map out in your head, but I think that Riley Sager did a really good job of that. Guys, I really appreciate you guys watching. Please let me know if there's anything I can do better. And if you have any questions or any ideas for any videos, I would appreciate that. Just make sure you like and subscribe, throw in your comments in there. What did you guys think about the novel? All right, see ya.